Joining me now is the outgoing Republican senator from New Hampshire, Kelly Ayotte. She serves on the Armed Services Committee, and she just gave her farewell speech on the Senate floor. Senator Ayotte, thanks so much for being here.
Thanks,
really
Jake.
Appreciate it. And we hope you're not going to be a stranger, even though you're moving on from the Senate. Let me ask you about General Mattis, because your colleague, Kirsten Gillibrand, Democrat from New York, says that she's not comfortable approving of that waiver. You need to be out of the military for 7 years, according to the law, to then head up the Pentagon. General Mattis has only been out for 3 years. What do you think?
I think that General Mattis is one of the most distinguished military leaders in the history of our country, a phenomenal choice to be the Secretary of Defense. And I really admire the fact that, he is not a yes man. He is going to call it like he sees it. He will give the president-elect very solid advice. And so he deserves this waiver. And I think that, unfortunately, some people are going to play politics with it. They should not. This is about the safety and security of our country. And I think that General Mattis will serve with such distinction as Secretary of Defense.
I was talking to some Republicans on the Hill who told me that they have told the Trump team that they don't think General David Petraeus could get confirmed, that there are enough not only Democrats but Republicans who are concerned enough about the breach of security that happened when he shared the classified information, and also that he lied to the FBI. Is that what you're hearing as well? Is that your impression?
I don't know that that's my impression. I think there are many on the Hill that admire the service also of General David Petraeus. I've had the chance of knowing him personally as well. And, obviously he has really talked about his mistakes. He's moved forward, and no one can take away from him his incredible service to our country.
No, of course not. But anyway, okay, you would know better than I. So your colleague, Senator Lindsey Graham, says that he is going to have hearings on the Russian hacking into the DNC and the Russian hacking into the emails of John Podesta, Clinton campaign chairman. There's obviously a lot of concern by a lot of people. Marco Rubio, your colleague, has talked about how this has been unprecedented and it's offensive. Take a listen to what Lindsey Graham had to say today to my colleague Manu Raju.
I'm going after Russia in every way you can go after Russia. I think they're one of the most destabilizing influences on the world stage. I think they did interfere with our elections, and I want Putin personally to pay a price.
Do you share his view that Putin needs to pay a price?
Well, listen, I share the view that I think we need to be much tougher on Russia. If you look at their behavior, I share the view that the reset policy of this past administration has really been a failure, and we've seen a lot of bad behavior by Russia. It's time to certainly make sure that Vladimir Putin understands that we're going to be quite serious whether he's undermining our efforts to defeat ISIS in Syria and Iraq, whether he's in a situation where there's cybercrime issues involved, whatever it is, I think we do need to take a stronger tack with Russia.
But you must be concerned then, because that's not really what we're hearing from President-elect Trump. He seems to want to be even closer with Vladimir Putin. I don't think I've heard him criticize Putin or Russia ever.
Well, we'll see. I mean, this is going to be one of the great challenges of this administration. But look at who he's nominated for Secretary of Defense. I think General Mattis sees these issues very clearly. He'll have his advice. I know that he's announced General Kelly as well, who has a tremendous military history as well. So he's putting people around him that are not yes men, that are going to give him the straight on this, and then he will approach Russia, I'm sure, with toughness. Mitt
Romney is also being discussed as a possible Secretary of State. He's from your neighboring state of Massachusetts. He actually has a home in New Hampshire.
He does.
I think you think pretty highly of him. I think that you have. Do you think he would be a good pick?
I think he's incredibly qualified. He handles himself very well. He obviously understands the international issues. And really, the president-elect is interviewing a number of very qualified people for that position. There's no doubt. And this is a very important job, and there is so much work to be done after John Kerry and the issues that need to be addressed, whether it's with Iran, whether it's Russia, China, and it's a very important position.
Lastly, you're leaving the Senate. What do you think? What are you proudest of, and what is your biggest regret of your time in the Senate?
I'm really proud of the work that we've done. In fact, in helping turn around, getting resources on the opioid epidemic facing my state. We just passed the Comprehensive Addiction and Recovery Act this summer. Working with my colleagues on that, I helped lead that. And also now in the 21st Century Cures Bill, $1 billion to help those struggling with addiction. I'm very proud of that. You know, in terms of looking of things, I know that there's so much more work that we need to do for our veterans. One thing I was passionate about, my husband's a combat veteran, is really making sure our veterans need the very best care. That has not happened, and I hope this administration really takes that to heart and does make sure that our veterans, for what they have sacrificed on our behalf, get the very best care. So I wish I could do more on that. That's so important.
All right. Please come back. We want
Thank
to keep talking to you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.